Welcome to Royal Secret. In a stunning and sobering moment that has sent ripples across the Atlantic, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, has once again found himself in the eye of a storm. But this time, the storm isn't the work of the British tabloids, it's a cold, hard courtroom reality. A recent appeal launched by Prince Harry has not only failed to move the legal needle in his favor but has now drawn fierce criticism from legal authorities. One of the most respected voices in the judiciary did not mince words. According to courtroom insiders and formal documentation, the prince's legal stance was described as fundamentally flawed, lacking a basic understanding of his present circumstances. But what does that mean? How did a prince, born into the highest echelons of British privilege, end up facing such a brutal legal reckoning? To understand the present, we must travel back in time. It begins in the shadow of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's decision to step back from royal duties in early 2020. At the time, it was heralded as a brave step toward freedom and independence. The world watched as the couple relocated to North America and attempted to reshape their roles from full-time royals to financially independent global figures. But with that move came consequences, some expected, others unforeseen. One particularly significant issue was security. Who would fund the protection of a prince who was no longer performing royal duties? Who decides when royal blood no longer deserves royal security? Prince Harry, deeply concerned for the safety of his family, especially in light of his late mother Princess Diana's tragic fate, sought to maintain government-provided police protection while in the UK, even offering to pay for it himself. His application to the Home Office was rejected. Undeterred, Harry took the matter to court. Prince Harry's central claim was that the decision to strip him of his state-funded UK police protection was unlawful and unfair. He argued that the threat to his personal safety hadn't diminished just because he had stepped back from official duties. If anything, his high profile, and his role as a polarizing figure in both the UK and the US, had amplified the risks. But according to court documents, the UK Home Office maintained a different perspective. Royal protection is not a right. It is a privilege granted based on current responsibilities and public roles. When the case was brought before the High Court, Harry's legal team pressed on the point that his offer to personally fund his own protection had been ignored without proper explanation, a perceived bureaucratic dismissal of a prince's heartfelt concern for his family's safety. Then came the turning point. Harry's appeal was reviewed and denied. The ruling was a legal gut punch. Even more staggering than the denial itself was the language used by the presiding judge. According to the judge, Harry had failed to grasp the full legal reasoning behind the original decision. It was a stunning critique, not of his lawyers, but of the prince himself. What followed was a quiet but intense moment of reckoning for the House of Windsor. Because this was no longer just about security or funding. It was about accountability, privilege, and perception. Prince Harry, once celebrated as the bold royal who walked away from centuries of tradition, now stood accused of failing to understand the implications of that choice. This legal blow didn't occur in a vacuum. Every move Harry makes is scrutinized not just by lawyers or the press, but by his own family. Sources close to Buckingham Palace revealed a palpable sense of embarrassment, not only due to the public nature of the case but also due to the implications it carries for the monarchy's credibility. Behind palace gates, insiders speak of growing frustration. King Charles III, already navigating a complex web of public opinion, constitutional duty, and his own health concerns, reportedly sees this as another unnecessary spotlight on an already strained institution. Meanwhile, Prince William remains silent, but his silence is louder than words. While he continues his royal duties with precision and polish, Harry's legal entanglements in the UK paint a contrasting portrait of two brothers who once stood shoulder to shoulder. Public reaction to the legal ruling was mixed. In the United Kingdom, many citizens interpreted the court's decision as a firm assertion of legal consistency. Royal title or not, no one is above the law. On the other side of the Atlantic, however, especially among Harry and Meghan's supporters in the United States, the decision was seen as another example of a hostile British establishment punishing the couple for speaking out. The divide is not just legal or political, it's emotional. For many, Prince Harry remains the grieving son of Princess Diana, determined to shield his wife and children from the same fate. But others see him as a privileged figure unwilling to accept the consequences of his self-imposed exile. So what now? For Prince Harry, the path forward is more complicated than ever. Having exhausted yet another legal avenue, his ability to secure state-level protection when visiting the UK remains severely limited. More importantly, the case has raised serious questions about his long-term relationship with the UK, the monarchy, and his own identity as a royal. Will he continue to challenge the British establishment, or will this ruling mark a turning point, forcing him to re-evaluate his strategies and perhaps step back from the legal battlefield altogether? Sources close to the Sussexes say Harry remains committed to protecting his family and preserving his narrative. But in the halls of British justice, commitment alone may no longer be enough. Meghan Markle has remained largely silent on the matter, at least publicly. But behind closed doors, those close to her suggest she's been a guiding force in Harry's decisions, encouraging him to assert his rights and protect their children at all costs. Still, the question lingers: has this legal war helped or hurt the Sussex brand? Once viewed as modern, media-savvy disruptors of royal tradition, Harry and Meghan now risk appearing embattled, litigious, and distant from the causes they once championed. Brand experts say the backlash could be mitigated with careful media handling and renewed focus on philanthropy. But the road ahead will require strategic recalibration. It's important to note that the royal family has made no public comment on the case. The palace's silence, as always, is strategic. But silence does not mean apathy. Royal aides have been watching the case closely, weighing its impact on the monarchy's image. Every court ruling involving Harry reverberates through the institution like a thunderclap, forcing the firm to reconsider how it handles former royals who challenge the status quo. Some insiders suggest that the time has come for a formal reconciliation, or at least a dialogue between the estranged prince and the institution that once defined his entire existence. As the dust settles from this latest courtroom clash, the future remains uncertain for Prince Harry. He stands at a crossroads, caught between two worlds: the royal past he left behind and the uncertain terrain of a private citizen with a very public legacy. The legal setbacks, the biting criticism from respected judicial voices, the continued strain with his family, all of it points to one undeniable truth: the journey to freedom is never without cost. But for Prince Harry, the question now becomes, was it all worth it? And what will he do next? The tale of Prince Harry is no longer just one of privilege and power. It's a deeply human story of identity, love, loss, and the desire for safety and autonomy. But as this legal battle shows, even the most heartfelt convictions can run up against the brick wall of legal reality. One thing is clear: the world is watching. Not just the courtroom, but the man behind the headlines. The prince without a palace. So, dear viewers, we ask you this: has Prince Harry gone too far in his quest for independence, or is he the only one brave enough to challenge a system that refuses to change? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe to stay updated on the stories that define our modern royals. Until next time, thank you for watching.